Actually, we were under a bit of pressure because we had a record deal. We had a single ready to go, and they needed a name. And we were sitting around looking at record sleeves, and there was a James Brown album, and on the back it said, "He's the minister of the super new heavy funk." So we kind of like the new heavy bit, and we added the brand to it to make it our own. It was just a kind of a quick, flippant thing in many ways. It's not that deeper.
And a kind of a head nod or cap dob, or whatever you call it, to James Brown, which is one of our biggest influences. We have many influences, but he's probably one of the biggest, I think.
That's hard, actually. I don't think there was one song. There was definitely a time period when we were going out and, you know, first started going to clubs and stuff like that, and hearing stuff like James Brown and Kool and the Gang, and that whole period was really, you know, tough for us musically. Really kind of launched our ideas and made us want to do what we do, really. So I would say that era.
Yeah, because there was a club that started up, and it was these guys playing like old funk records, which is now quite, you know, people have heard most of the music, but at the time you couldn't hear that music anywhere. And we were going there and then going around to Yams on a Sunday and having a bit of a jam, and it was kind of like we just playing these funk grooves and stuff, and getting sort of learning really about the funk, and learning our instruments too at the same time. And then a couple of the DJs popped round, because we took a cassette to the club of a groove we had, and they played it and people kept on dancing, so we thought, hello, we should go on with this, and it just happened from there, really. No, we haven't put one out for 6 years, but this record took, I don't know.
It felt like 6 years. It felt like 6 years because we were kind of stopping and starting. And throughout the whole 6 years, we've been off the radar in terms of new music. We've been writing throughout the whole period. So, in a way, it did take 6 years, because it's almost like a diary of the last 6 years, because lots of things have happened in that time.
We've also done a lot of gigs and playing live, which is a big part of what we do, so we haven't had a dull moment, really, in terms of...
Yeah, and Andrew invented the internet, I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
And that took a while to develop, and it's catching on, actually.
And then Simon invented children as well, in that same period.
If you go back to our first album, we actually put one of the original tapes up. And if you know anything about recording music, these days you can put a microphone on each drum, and there's doom, 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 kick, smack, boom, boom. And we've got the drums up, and it's just like 2 stereo mics on the kit. And nowadays we're quite specific about like the sound of the drums, the snare. Because we can mix ourselves now, because we use computers to record into instead of tape. You know, you get into EQing, so we've got quite a taste in the style of kind of sounds we like. It's kind of quite important to us.
I think we're just better at what we do, you know.
And we kind of tune it over the years. And
we've been doing it for so long, we kind of can do it with our eyes closed, more or less, and you kind of get to know each other more musically, and you just develop your whole way of doing things. And you know, we have changed the way we record, because when we first started recording, everything was done on 2-inch tape, you know, which cost 150 quid a reel or something. So it's a lot cheaper to make it. You know, when we made a record, we'd have like 20 reels of tape, you know, and we'd have to spend a lot of money every day in a studio to hire a studio. This time we had our own space, so we were able to kind of stretch our legs a little bit and expand a bit, and you know, and you just get better at the craft over the years. You know, we've been going a minute, so we've had a chance to really, you know, get inside what we're doing, you know, and also work with some great musicians and great singers and all of that. You know, everyone brings something to what we do, and you know, it's turned out really well, I think.
But the actual sound it's a classic sound. It's a classic heavy sound. We haven't tried to be completely different or start using loops or go dubstep or Mountbatten. I think that's the latest new craze at the moment. We've just kept it really, really kind of classic, so that the music shines through more than the production, as it were.
It's hard to say, really. I mean, when you make a record, you spend so long listening to the music so intensely you actually, things that you really like at the beginning, you get quite bored of for a minute, you know, and then you don't. I tend not to listen to a record after we've made it for quite a long time, and then suddenly you'll hear it again.
Yeah.
And
on the radio,
it's like, it's quite refreshing, you know.
Well, it's a bit like when, I mean, people don't buy a whole album so much, but you used to buy a whole record, and there'd be a certain track you probably wouldn't like at the beginning, and then you just kind of get into it, and that's on the other side of it.
But I think
it's really hard to name a track, isn't it?
It's hard to name, but I think in terms of when we play live, there's a few tracks that always go down well. Dream Come True is well loved. Stay This Way, You Are the Universe.
Never Stop.
Some of the bigger singles, I think.
Yeah. I think it's Don't Wear That is one thing, I think. And also just kind of, I think, you know, have regular meetings with your accountants. And
I think also enjoy it, you know, enjoy it, because at the very, very beginning, it's the best time ever, you know, because the money's not coming through yet, and you haven't got a mortgage, you haven't got loads of bills to pay. So just enjoy that early stage.
We did enjoy it though.
We did. Well, we definitely enjoyed it. Yeah,
enjoyed it to the max.
Yeah, that was the best
enjoy
part.
It more.
Yeah, enjoy it more.
But I think also, things have changed so much now. You know, the way everything's done now is so different than it was back in the day. So a lot of things you'd say now wouldn't necessarily be relevant to then, because things are done differently anyway. So I think really having good people around you, good managers, good, you know, small group of people